Thank you.
Perfect. Hello, everyone. So we are very delighted to present a work on the cultural and linguistic challenges of studying online for English second language students. So this project was born out of our experience, and our aim was to examine how this online learning context reinforces and brings up new challenges for our community at the LSE.
So we used two different methodological approaches to collect qualitative data. We focused on the population of non-native English speakers, especially postgraduate LSE students from diverse departments and mother tongues. And the first approach consisted in focus groups. We did 3 for discussions and 1 less for reflection. And we also did semi-structured interviews. We scheduled our focus group sessions with intervals of minimum 3 weeks to 1 month between them. And our goal with this chronology that we call long-term and term-long approach was to have an overall perspective on the online learning experience during the term, and each session revealed new ideas corresponding to different things that students experienced around the time of the session. So it shaped our research into sort of a bottom-up thematic analysis. And from this bottom-up thematic analysis, 4 main categories emerged as the contours of the challenges. So on the left of the screen, you can see these categories put in circle because the challenges are often shared between the categories, and on the right in red, the main challenges encountered by our participants.
So first, the challenging situation of feeling out of the conversation and ignored, but at the same time feeling self-pressured to contribute to the conversation, mostly when students are in breakout rooms. The second challenge is that it is more difficult to ask for clarifications when the non-native student is not sure to understand what the professor and peers said. This is particularly the case in pre-recorded lectures, even if this format also allows for some advantages, such as subtitles. The third challenge is that non-native students do not always feel comfortable to jump in the discussion and fully express their own ideas, especially in seminars. Indeed, it's not instinctive for them to jump in without raising hands, and the online context reduces possibilities for non-verbal signs of approval.
And our last challenge is the pressure of having a very short window of time to express things that can hardly be discussed elsewhere. And this is particularly relevant to the context of office hours, and this indeed less informal interactions with faculty leads to students having more pressure to use office hours efficiently. And however, it's very challenging, because the format of 20 minutes does not allow for enough time to reformulate questions, for example, and ask for language clarifications. And it is a very crucial challenge because the students are actually used to having this sort of class conversation as part of their learning experience.
Yes, and we have also many recommendations coming from all participants, but we are only going to mention a few, and we will be happy to develop them further in the discussion. So there are things that can be improved working with what already exists at the LSE. For example, encouraging peer support groups, activities to prepare seminars in advance, and student-led presentations during seminars. Also continue the progression on academia decolonization and implement longer office hours slots and longer classes with more weekly slots available.
And our participants also suggest implementing new ideas, such as having separated social activities for online students and on-campus students, and having an app that functions like a social network to have informal casual conversation with natives.
The core proposition is to create a week 0 happening before each term, organized around student challenges in online learning context, and especially around second language students' difficulties. During these weeks, workshops could be dedicated to the functioning of British academia and LSE, but also sessions for getting to know teachers and peers to identify students with language difficulties before beginning of online classes, and for teachers to create a second language English students friendly environment and workshop led by this community to speak about their challenges and suggest guidelines such as using verbal and visual communication signs. And so thank you very much for giving us this research opportunity. We will be happy to discuss it in the
Q&A. Thank you very much.